Okay, in this video, this will be the last video of this particular set. We're going to go through the results as they were produced by the analysis toolkit scripts command. You can see this is pretty much where we left off on the last video. On the left-hand side, we have our analysis toolkit repo. It's a good starting point. We're going to follow into the documentation. And then up here in the navigation window, process scripts, and we're going to look at working with results. It's going to be the page that we're going to follow along with here. Okay, so by this time, you can see here in the background, we have completed our analysis with the analysis toolkit, and we've generated the Excel spreadsheets. You can see those here in the foreground. So we're just going to open up one of these. Let's just pick the Windows file here. There's just some information here on the left-hand side. I'm going to scroll through here real quick just to give you an idea. No matter where you start the tool from, there will always be a results folder in the same, just as a new folder in the wherever it was that you ran your analysis from. And so that's all that this directory tree is trying to show us here. And the files themselves will always be called Darwin, Linux, and Windows. Now, Darwin, that's just the internal operating system name inside of Mac OS. A long time ago, the Apple engineers said, let's call it Darwin. And so that's what they did. And so that's how it reflects itself inside inside the operating system. So that's all. We're just simply using the internal names as derived by Python to create the operating system type. That's where that came from. Then it's going to have search results, and then it's going to have a timestamp for when it was that we actually ran the analysis. Now, if you run this more than once against the same data set or in the same folder, you're going to get multiple sets of files. One set for each of the operating systems, and each time that you ran it. So that way the timestamp will help you keep it straight as to which one represents what. Okay, so the result file itself, let me just go ahead and get one of these opened up. They all follow a very similar layout. And so, come on. There we go. They all follow a very similar layout. They all have a search results summary tab. You can see here on the summary. They all have a systems summary tab, and then they all have some number of detailed result tabs themselves. So on the search summary, we're going to get the internal name of the search. This is just a unique identifier. You might use it if one of the search results is giving you some problems, not showing you the results you expect or something. And you could provide that back to me or as the maintainer of this particular tool set, and we could try to find out what's going on with it. But this is a unique identifier, unique within the entire set of search results. And then all the search results are grouped into topics, and you can see we've got some color coding, and you can see that color coding is actually reflected into the tabs down here at the bottom as well. So this is inside of an Excel table, so you can sort, filter, and do all the other things you want with it. And then the actual sheet name that it's on, and that's a hyperlink. So we're going to follow that here in just a minute and see what kind of information might be present in some of these. And then the total number of results that were found, the number of unique instances of individual, if one system had 20 and another had 5 hits, then the total count is going to be 25. And then the unique number of systems that had hits, that's also represented here. And then whether or not, because one of the things that the tool does is it takes this text information that's in these result files, and it turns it into an Excel table with named columns to help you sort and filter and understand what we're looking at. So we're going to show that here as well. And so that's what this has extracted fields. That just simply represents whether or not we took some textual information out of the individual lines of text and inserted them in as individual fields inside of Excel. So all of the spreadsheets are going to follow the same basic layout. On the summary tab, On the systems summary, we've got some additional information. The system name, this is just the file name. That's it. There's nothing magical about it. So you can rename that file name to something more useful. You might put prod in front of it, or web, or something else if the system name itself wasn't descriptive. That way you can enforce your own grouping, or add some additional metadata to and you can just do that in the file name. And the process scripts tool itself will pick that up for you. Whether it's a Windows, Mac OS, or a Linux machine, the producer is just simply the collection script that was used to generate this, to produce the file. The version of it, and you can see here we've got some version discrepancies. So now this is out of test data, and it goes back a number of years. But sometimes somebody might run an old version of the analysis of the collection script if that's what they had on hand, and this will help us find out which versions were actually used and what features and capabilities and data points were collected. And then some operating system specific information for Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. And then also the file name and what the file encoding was, in case there's some troubleshooting that we have to do with why certain files weren't read successfully. So that's on the system summary. And so now let's go back to the summary tab itself. And let's pick one of the things that's just, we should always be looking at vulnerability management. How good of a job, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day, if you did everything else great and you still got unpatched vulnerabilities on your web server, it's going to be a bad day for you pretty quick. All right, somebody's going to find that unpatched vulnerability and they're going to take over stuff. So let's look at the patching history. Now, across all of the operating system files, update history means the same thing. Okay, and installed applications means the same thing, and SNMP means the same thing. The spreadsheet, the result set names are the same across all the operating systems. If you find one that isn't for some reason and I missed one, just let me know. Just go fill out an issue in GitHub and I'll get on it and try to get it fixed. Okay, so let's go into update history and let's just use this as an example. Okay, so on each of the result tabs, there's a comment or some hints or some tips about what we're looking at, why this could be useful, and that's always provided in the top left corner of the spreadsheet. And then the fields going across the top, we've got that system name again, just the file name. The line number in the original source file where we found this result. That way, if you ever have to go back and look at the original source file, you can go directly to the line. The text that we actually matched on. And so it's going to pull that text out and dump it in here. And this is the raw text. So you can put the two side by side and make sure that everything worked like it was supposed to. And then remember I was saying a minute ago that there is data that is extracted out of these text lines and inserted into special columns, right? So, and this is just done with regular expressions. And so we can see here, June 21st, 2023, it's moved into there. Security update is moved into there. And the KB number is extracted from right here. That's it, okay? And so that's what that has extracted fields means from the summary tab. And so we can see here that this is the patching history taken out of the operating system, taken from two sources in the case of Windows, the Windows update log and the PowerShell get hotfix command. Those are the two sources for this, and there's even a reason why, and that it's explained up there in the comment. I'll let you read that on your own. And so now we can begin to audit. And so we can, we can do this across all of these things. If you want to see how these systems are configured for WinRM, well, there you go. There's the WinRM, and why is that important? It's in the comment. And then the same thing What are the DNS configurations? Well, there's the DNS configurations, and you see this one does not have any matching text. Right? I'm sorry, it does not have extracted fields. We just have to, like, there's too much variability for me to do that in an efficient manner anyways. And so this is just the DNS information exposed out directly. You'll notice I'm going back and forth really quick. Excel does not appear to have like a back button like your browser does, but I am just using the Windows shortcut key for that, Alt left arrow, the Alt key and then left arrow at the same time. And that's the same thing in your browser as the back button, and it works in Excel too. So we can come down here, another one, NTP information. This is helpful, especially in a PCI audit. We have to look at the NTP configurations, and we can see how they're set up here. And so again, just all kinds of results in here, and it's just a matter of finding the one that you're looking for. And actually I lied a minute ago. I said I wasn't going to do another video, but there's going to be one more video I'm going to do, and that's how can we turn some of this date-based information into something that's a little more easy to look at. So I'll cover that in the next video, but that's it for this one.